I want to ask you a question. Who told you about the gospel? Because see, there was a point in time in all of our lives when we were unreached, when we hadn't heard the good news. And if you go back long enough in your family's history, there was a time when your family was unreached. And you could go back far enough in your geographic region, and there was a time when your city was unreached, or your ethnic group or heritage was unreached, or your country was unreached. And so, who told you? Who told you about the gospel? My story was largely my family. I grew up hearing the stories from my mom, and she would get the Bible books out, or the kids' books out, and she would tell us the stories of Daniel and Noah and Abraham and of course Jesus. And when I was a little bit older, I'd come down at night for a drink of water or something like that, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and there would be the kitchen light still on, and my dad at the kitchen table with his Bible and books spread out everywhere as he prepared to teach his Sunday school class, and he would just share something with me real quick. Or my grandparents, who were missionaries in New Guinea, they would tell us grandkids the stories of what it was like to bring the gospel to an unreached people group. And in all of these things, there was little snippets, little seeds, little stories, little truths of them telling me. They told me. So, who told you? And we all have to face the reality that there are still people, millions and millions, actually billions of people today on the earth who no one has ever told them. And Steph and I, many of you know, we want to go to some of them. We want to go to those who have never heard. And so this winter, we're going to be joining YWAM in order to go overseas to an unreached people group to tell someone. And so here's what I want to challenge all of you watching this to do. Two things. Number one, we would love to hear who told you. And so I want you to hit the share button on this video. And in the comments as you share it, I want you to tell your story. It doesn't have to be video, just in text is fine, but who told you? And let's spread testimonies of the goodness of God and the testimony of Jesus, of who told us and how we came to faith. And I want you to use the hashtag, who told you? And share it and spread it. And so there would be, even in our city, in our region, in our network, social networks, there could be a movement here, even a small movement of us sharing the story of who told us the gospel. And number two, after you do that, I want you to prayerfully consider even supporting Steph and I and our family as we prepare to go overseas. We need, just in full transparency, we need to raise about $20,000 for us to make this next step. And so here's what I would ask you to do, is I would ask you to consider, not the whole $20,000, but would you consider maybe $100? Could we share our stories of who told us, and would some of you prayerfully consider even sowing $100 so that we could all partner together, and as we celebrate who told us the gospel and the goodness of God, also then sow into another people in another place and be part of telling them, so that as someone told us, we can also tell someone. And so as you do that, in the description below, you'll see a link to our website that you can do that as you prayerfully consider sowing even $100 into our family, into our ministry as we prepare to go. But hit the share button, hit the like button, spread this. Let's spread testimony of Jesus, and would you prayerfully consider supporting us? And as we remember who told us the gospel.